Welcome. Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the upcoming story chapter, Act 4 Chapter 2 Part 2 Sepia Toned Memories featuring the debuting Iris Amicitia from Final Fantasy XV. The event synergy units are Iris, Cait Sith, Fang, Tifa, Steiner, Vanille. Iris kit, which includes her FR and Burst, will make their debut along with her FR boards. Tifa will be making her return as a synergy FR Burst unit for the event. We will be fighting 2 Vanguard Magitek Armor which has 175 million HP each. The turn requirement is 35. The HP requirements is 5000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Iris, Charlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Yuna, Iroha, Pernello, Garnet, Rem, and Selpha that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. On the screen I have listed down the key utility that you can consider when forming your party for this fight. The fight does not have any complex mechanics. The force gauge has high charge rate mechanics where you need to bring a FR charger if you want to get your FR gauge before the boss activate theirs. Once the gauge reaches 50%, both Magitek Armor will use Magitek Laser, which is a guaranteed hit attack that reduces the target HP to 50% of their current HP. To cancel the boss force time, you need to bring a melee FR unit like Iris, Leo, Tifa, Core, 7, Rex, Karasame, Zack or Squall. You can approach with a rush down strategy or counter approach. Off-turn damage from counters, traps or follow-up mechanics will be valuable here. The force ability could inflict a 2-turn paralyze aura if your party have 2 of units having their brave less than 100% of their max brave. So consistently ensuring your party brave is capped is important. Spamming force charging skills can always constantly upkeep your brave. I have listed down the options. Most of them are usually the force charger supports. Iris is a top-tier FR charger support. I would recommend you to get her if you have the resources to pull for her. The boss rotation cycle consists of a brave attack that inflicts a random debuff, followed by a single target HP attack and AoE HP attack. So bring debuff evasion units or blocking your party buffs with 6 framed buffs is a viable strategy if you are planning to do the hit and counter strategy. A Lena base call will be sufficient, or you can bring debuff evasion supports like Ignis, Aphma, Aerith, or Lena. Selpha gives the party 100% debuff evasion if you use the self summon. This fight is relatively an easy one and the fight don't have those troublesome HP gate mechanics like the previous ones. As we are no longer have Vanille plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. If you do not bring any force chargers, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss will gain 4% charge rate up whenever your party acts. When the boss gauge is at 10% and above, the boss will increase its brave and HP damage resistance by 20%. When the gauge reaches 50%, both bosses will use Magitek Laser Plus, which is a guaranteed hit HP attack that reduces the target HP to 50% of their current HP. You can negate it with HP nullification effects like Warrior of Light LDCA, Gladio's Blink buff, 9 LDCA or Beatrix Holy Knight Safeguard. When the boss gauge is at 50% and above, the boss will increase its brave and HP damage resistance by 50%. When the boss gauge is at 90% and above, the boss will increase its Brave and HP damage resistance by 80%. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. At the 100% threshold, the type of the boss force ability will depend on the current Brave status of your party. If less than 2 party members have their Brave capped, the boss will use Hyper Tackle ++, which is a guaranteed hit attack that absorbs all your party Brave and deals HP damage that reduces your party HP to 50% of their current HP. It will also apply a 2-turn Paralyze aura. You cannot evade or cleanse the debuff. The only way is to let the debuff duration lapse, which is most likely killed off your party. If you have at least 2 party members have their Brave capped, the boss will consume your party's Brave and deals a HP attack that reduces your party HP to 50% of their current HP. Unlike the Magitek Laser Plus at the 50% force gauge threshold, you cannot nullify the HP damage with HP damage mitigation effects. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time, where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 20 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, the boss will heal back 80% of the HP damage they received after your party turn ends. To deal force weakness on the boss, which will cancel the boss force time, you need use a melee FR. Now let us go through the key mechanics of the fight. The fight does not have any nasty mechanics. The boss has a standard rotation cycle, as I have illustrated on the screen. The first rotation is that the boss will use either one of the following attacks: Thunder Beam Plus, Ice Beam Plus, or Fire Beam Plus. Thunder Beam Plus is a single target Brave attack with 50% chance of inflict 1-turn Paralyze. Ice Beam Plus is a single target Brave attack with 50% chance of inflict 1-turn Brave Freeze. In other words, your party will not gain Brave on their next turn. Fire Beam Plus is a single target Brave attack which will inflict a sap debuff that allows the boss to gain 50% of its max Brave after the inflicted character acts. If you don't shave the Brave, the boss will most likely unleash a HP attack that kill an ally on its next turn if you don't have any damage mitigation active. After the Beam Brave attack, it will use Disaster Beam Plus, which is a reset break status, single target Brave plus HP attack. After Disaster Beam Plus, it will use Magitek Scatter Beam, which is a reset break status, AoE Brave plus HP attack. If you have means to handle the mechanics, this fight should not be too difficult to handle. If you are planning to do a hit and counter setup, a debuff evasion unit, or strategies to block your party buff slots with 6 framed buffs is highly recommended here. Otherwise, a standard rush down team comp that involves delay, launches and follow-up will be more easier strategy to execute for this fight. I have finished covering the fight mechanics. Let's proceed with the unit overview. Before I cover on the featured FR unit, Iris, do try to get Tifa if you do not have her kit. She is still one of the game's best single target damage dealers and will be a star in the upcoming Dimensions and Transcendence. If you are struggling with the previous story chapter fight, she will help that fight a lot. As Iris is a new character, I will give a quick overview on her kit. She is a melee FR charger, burst healer with turn manipulation mechanics. She has a cheesy EX mechanic that allows her to copy damage of previous attack done by an ally on the previous turn, and a BT aura that set the boss attack, defense, and max Brave to 0. If you want to know more on her kit, I would suggest to check the Tonberry Troop website for more gameplay and setup tips. Her S1 potion passes her charger ability that heals the target by 100% of Iris max HP and Battery Thep RD Brave by 80% of their max Brave. If the heal exceed the target max HP, excessive heals will be distributed to other party members up to 40% max HP. It is a free and instant turn ability. Her S2 Moonbow is Brave Gain, which scales off Iris max Brave, followed by a single target Brave plus HP attack with 50% splash damage. It will also grant Iris her basic framed buff, Amasicia Arts, for 6 turns. The buff raises Iris attack, max Brave, and give her HP damage up and Brave damage up. her A will recover allies' brave by 50% of each individual max brave. It also slightly raises the party max brave and brave gains. Upon using her EX, you are allowed to select a target to move that target's turn after Iris' turn with copying the HP damage dealt by the ally on the previous turn. It will grant the party brave by 50% of their own max brave followed by AoE brave plus HP attack. Do planning on when to use her EX to take advantage of the copying mechanic. Her LD will grant Iris her second framed buff, Prince's Childhood Friend for 12 turns. It will allow you select an ally which move Iris' turn after the selected ally. Use this to your advantage on planning the damage phase. This is followed by a single target brave plus HP attack that deals 80% splash damage. It also recovers one skill use of S1 and S2. The LD will charge up Iris' EX gauge to max. The framed buff, Prince Childhood Friend will grant the party HP regen, raises their brave damage, stolen and gain max brave overflow, HP damage up, brave gains up and brave regen that scales off 30% of their own max brave. Upon using her FR, Iris increases the party brave by 100% of their own max brave followed by an AoE brave plus HP attack. While the force time is active, your party brave gains will increase by 50%. When attacking broken or inflict break on enemy targets, they will raise their HP damage and max brave cap by 20%. Now let's look into Iris force time conditions. 1. Use a melee ability will give 40% HP damage bonus. Form a party of melee attackers and you meet this condition. 2. Recovers allies brave on turn will get you 30% HP damage bonus. Battery bots are good partners for Iris. Bring units that provide brave battery for other party members on their attacks, for example Cait Sith, Steiner, Lily Set, Bartz. Most charger supports can meet these criteria but only few melee-based supports such as Pernello, Ignis, or Ramza or using battery tanks like Gladio or Golov. Overall, this is a specialized FR for battery bots. You can abuse supercharging strategy with 80% per turn. However, not a lot of battery bots are melee based, making Iris FR to be used mainly as FR Echo instead. Let us cover on her BT. The BT Aura lasts for 8 turns. The BT Aura boosts the party brave damage by 20%, raises brave damage cap by 50% and max brave cap by 30%. While the aura is active, all enemies' attack, defense, and max brave stats will be set 0. You can abuse cheesy strategies with units like Dorgan, Maria, and units that relies on break mechanics. Overall, Iris is a top-tier support that can do a bit of everything. She can charge gauge, burst heal, have party HP regen, turn manipulation, BT aura that negates danger and a wonderful EX that copies the previous turn HP damage. Can she work without her burst? Yes. She can still work without her BT for the purpose of charging the gauge and healer support. However, in current era of the game, all units will need to have their burst to maintain their combat effectiveness. Later down the timeline, we will be facing Crystal Quest challenges where you need to tackle older Shinryu fights with higher HP pools. Have stronger gear becomes more important than ever. You will want her BT aura to abuse her copied HP damage mechanics. Having her BT aura means more HP damage to abuse. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.